If you hear all those booms, that is because Justin loves to talk with his hands. And so all I hear in my headphone is boom, boom.
Yes, I do talk with my hands. Thank you, Ryan. As I was saying, since you so rudely interrupted, what are you going to say? What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, you boomed right then again.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting on my hands.
Welcome to Access Granted, a peek inside the real-life stories of physical security professionals. Now, here are your hosts, Justin, John, Ryan, and Brandon.
Hello, everybody. This is Brandon with J&J Access and Security. I'm here with Justin, John, Ryan, the other four owners of J&J Access and Security. We are going to welcome in our new podcast. Hopefully, it'll be something that's not only entertaining, but maybe give you a little bit of security info and knowledge and help you along that route. We're going to kind of start here today just kind of by telling you about who we are, what we did, how we got started, and we are a family business local here in the Quad City area. It was started by our grandfather, John's father, back in 1968 and incorporated in 1972. We have been doing locks all over the Quad Cities, locks, cameras, alarm systems, safe work. Guys, anything else? I mean, that we just got back into.
If it locks, we touch it.
That's right. That is Justin's voice you're hearing there. John, do you want to go ahead and start talking about your dad and our grandfather, John Sawyer?
I think it'd be a good idea for you to do it because you were there. And we're just speaking to your age now.
Yes, I am one of the youngest people here. So father started the company in 1968. Basically, it's a one-man person. It was called John's Lock back then. In 1972, he got remarried to a young lady named Juanita, and they changed the name to J&J Locksmiths. Then in 1982, the name was changed to J&J Lock Safes and Alarms. In 84, we were going to open up several different companies, including American Casino Equipment Company, to supply casino equipment to the new riverboats going in. And we changed the corporate name, to International Technology and Security. And since that time, we've kept the corporate name, and we've ran as a DBA as either J&J Lock Safes and Alarms, and more recently as J&J Access and Security, to more reflect our total offerings.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's good. It just gives us 58 years, if I'm doing the math right, of it not only experience in the industry, but coming from my grandfather John's experience, he was a 56 years. I can't math. Ryan's over here miming numbers to me. Experience, he was a machinist and a tool and die maker by trade. If he could take a piece of raw metal and he could form a lock from it. And he did that in the local factories here. He worked at International Harvester, and he worked at Oscar Myers, and he had moved here in the mid to late 60s for job opportunities. And the knowledge as a machinist or as a tool and die maker to be able to make a lock, it was an easy transition for him to go and start servicing locks. And that's what he based his serviceability and his knowledge on going forward, is trying to make that lock as tight of a tolerance, as precise as he had in the careers that he had previously. And I think he started working automotive on the side when he started John's Lock, making keys to cars, and then he moved into, hey, can you key my house? And then it was, hey, can you keep work on my business? He always spoke that one of his first big clients was one of his former bosses at International Harvester. He had to key the whole plant, and that was one of his biggest jobs. We take a lot of pride in the fact that we've been here for so long and we've got a nice longevity. You hear a lot on the news now about scammers and fly-by-night companies, and we really want people to understand that, hey, we're here, we've been here, and we're here to stay.
So just to kind of keep it on our grandfather a little bit longer, he was known by many things. To us, he was Papa or Senior. People call him John Senior. He was definitely a man with a large personality. Ryan, you want to kind of go into what our grandfather was like?
Yeah, sure. So Senior was a very strict man who did not allow anybody any person any kind of leeway. It was always animals that he could see giving away leeway to. But anybody else, if they didn't do it his way, it was wrong. But to be fair, his way was right most of the time.
Yeah, he knew it, and the only person he truly loved was the only thing he ever loved was the dogs.
Yes, very
they
much
had
so.
higher chairs at the Thanksgiving table than everyone else. So
Working in a shop with a man like that who loved animals, yes, I'm sure some of you that might be listening have been into our shop and keep wondering where this big white dog that we're constantly stepping over, and that dog, wherever it laid, that's where its spot was, and if you stepped on its tail, you were in trouble. So, but yes, he was a very loving man. He loved all of us very much. Again, he was hard on us, but that's because he wanted the quality that he brought this company too.
yeah, I think that though it stemmed from the fact that it was his name. I mean, he came from a generation where a handshake was a word. Right, so not only being able to hold someone accountable to their actions and what they were doing to represent his name, but I think that was really big for him. That when somebody went out there, J&J, part of that was John, right? So that was he wasn't going to let somebody not only naysay his name, but the quality of work they're going to put out was going to be what he would have done. Otherwise, it wasn't going to get done.
It was not. It was even simpler than that at times, in the fact that he believed that everyone should be able to do certain things. And if you did not do things that particular way, or in a way that was reflected good upon yourself and upon him, then he had no tolerance for you. He just did not even want you around. And he was very blunt about telling you.
Yeah, I think I remember him throwing some customers out because of their idea of what the service should have been, or the cost of that service was different than him. But I think we do our darndest to try to keep that spirit alive, and that's why we really truly love keeping our guys trained, not only in the same way that he trained us, but also in the industry standard. I mean, what we don't want to do is bring our guys in and service the community in an insular way where we're not protecting our client base. Because, I mean, one thing that he always did was made sure that it was secure. He's like, I'm not going to do that. And he would tell people no because it wasn't a good idea, it wasn't smart, and it wasn't safe or it wasn't secure.
And I'll tell you this, if anybody, we're kind of saying that, yes, he was a hard man, but if you ever heard that man laugh, he had a laugh that could crack up an entire room. And what he thought was funny was just another whole out of this world.
He was a little dry when it came to what he thought was funny compared to what everybody else might have thought was funny.
Very much so. But continuing kind of with our grandfather, John, you kind of want to explain how young he had you started getting into the business?
Well, I picked a lock on a pop machine, I think, when I was probably 7 or 8 years of age. My brother Joe and I, he's 14, I'm 16, and there was a local credit union, and they needed a new file vault door installed. So he orders the vault door. We put everything together. He sends Joe and I out on the truck, and the vault door is delivered, and he tells us we're going to put the vault door in. So we, at 16 and 14, picked the vault door up with all the contractors looking around, laughing when they saw us, until they saw us actually set that door in place, make it swing, and lock it. And that's the type of person he was. He says, I trained you to do this, and it doesn't matter what your age is, you should be able to do it.
I think you would agree that the training that we're doing now would reflect that kind of confidence in our people. I think he'd also agree that some of those people deserve a little laughter as we go through, and I think we do a pretty good job of building a family around the company that we've created since his passing. I mean, that's one thing I think it's really good for the customers that we have is that the guys that are with us now, even though we've grown from a local family that just, everybody's last name was Sawyer, is now everybody's treated like family. They're all people, I pay them like I would want to pay myself, even though the old man never did pay us that way. But I also, I treat them and give them the leeway and the time, and that helps make somebody loyal to the company. Being in a community like ours, if you're going to have longevity and you want to have that longevity beyond the first or second generation, it's because you got people who feel as if they're as invested in this company as we are. And we do that through not only training but compensation and the camaraderie that we focus there. I mean, I know that one of the things we wanted to highlight is we've done it a lot on Facebook here recently, but is the additional training that we have. Ryan, Brandon, and I were certified. Ryan's got a certified safe and vault technician from the GSA. I have that also. Ryan's got his professional safe credentials from the National Safe and Vault Association. We're all three at least registered locksmiths, if not certified registered locksmiths through ALOA, which is one of the is the largest and most well-known locksmithing association. And actually, most of us just left Vegas here a couple weeks ago. Getting more qualifications, testing, classes. How many people did we send, Ryan? Nine guys, which is more than most shops have.
One of the things that we like to do, that Justin is getting into, is we like to we get with a group called ALOA, and we go there for all over the country for different training. This last one we had, like Justin said, was in Vegas. I went out there to that convention 2 years ago, and I will recommend do never go to Vegas by yourself. It's very lonely and boring. But yeah, we did send a bunch of guys out there just a couple weeks ago. And Justin, you want to tell them how that went and all the fun things you guys got to do as a group instead
for anybody
without Brandon.
Brandon.
We didn't take Brandon because we only want Brandon to experience Vegas by himself. Brandon will forever be the forever alone meme.
I will not wish that on anyone.
Yeah, no, it was good. I think those of us people who maybe followed us on Facebook or whatnot and saw the guys had a great time. We want to make sure that not only are they in their classes, but they're taking and experiencing the area that we're going to. They have a lot of them in Vegas. They have a lot of these conventions in Orlando. But, I mean, the guys went down to the Strip. They had classes. We went and saw the outside of the Sphere, even though I just read in the paper that thing lost $98 million this year. But it was a good time. I think the guys that we took out there, I think they had a renewed interest in locksmithing as a whole. They got to take tests to see and prove to not only us and themselves how certified they are, but also have that credential card. I think the classes we took were really good. What classes did you take, Ryan? And then you too, Dad. Which ones did you take?
Safe manipulation by hand. That one I thought was a lot of fun. I manipulated open 4 safes while I was in class there. I was the first one to do it, so that was fun.
And that's the process of by dialing the lock with the feel. So like in the, what's that movie with
Italian Job?
Yeah, you knew exactly who I was going for.
Yes.
Yeah, the scene was a little weird where she's got the lights off and she's dialing it open, right? I don't know of any safe technician that would ever do that, but that's similar to what you were learning.
Yeah, or play music in the background since you have to hear what you're
Hey, but she looked good doing it, right?
I'll let you say that. I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
His wife might be listening.
Caitlin, if you're listening to this, I did not mean that. This was only for the show.
John, what did you take out there?
So I took, matter of fact, I was the one in class most. I don't know why. The oldest guy here, and I spent more time in class than the rest of them.
It's because you're a nerd.
Well, there may be some truth to that. But I took electronic locking systems. Then I took access control beyond the panel. And then I took a course in computer networking. And the reason I even took that one was because I'm going to be teaching classes this next year at ALOA, and I wanted to see exactly what someone else was teaching so that I didn't duplicate that.
For those people who don't know and are maybe listening and don't know John, he is a nerd by fact. He's a card-carrying nerd. He's what you have a master's in infrastructure and technology or some cyber technology and infrastructure security. A lot of little alphabet soup behind his name there. Computers are his fun toys to play with. But yeah, I think that's good. I mean, it's a good thing that he mentioned that because not only are we certified as locksmithing technicians, we're now some of us are certified as instructors to teach this not only to our own people, which we've been doing for years now, but to other people out there. We could get it's another potential job for us, which my wife dislikes me taking on more jobs.
And where did you guys go to get your certification for instructor?
Oh, we went. So there's a. It seems like the locksmithing world always has stuff going on in Nicholasville, Kentucky. Then we went to a place called Lockmasters, and it was hosted by ALOA. which we didn't give the acronym earlier. It was the Associated Locksmiths of America, ALOA. And it was a rigorous 3-day course where we had to give several different impromptu presentations and it was more on a class on how to give a presentation and less on are you qualified. We've already proven that with our certifications.
Right. One night, Justin and I actually preparing for our presentation the next day, because each one of us had to give one. It was midnight before we left the table and decided we might try to get a little rest, but we still had to, even though we had completed all the parts of the presentation, we started to do the write-up. So
Yeah.
I think I got in bed around 2 a.m. that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a late night. But I mean, we've been hyping on how strict our grandfather was on the quality that went out. But we wanted to say that we want to make sure people realize that not only there's a legacy continuing, but we're seeking out other individuals to try to get different perspectives. We're talking right now about sending our guys to Chicago on the 4th of October here just to get more training. We're looking at sending our guys to some automotive classes, which is a newer segment of our business again.
Just in the last couple of years, let's see, off the top of our heads, we can think we have been to Las Vegas, Reno, Dallas, Kentucky, Ogden, Utah,
Orlando. You said Orlando?
Orlando, Florida, Chicago. These are all the places that we have traveled across the country and sent our guys to for different trainings.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we need to, we like to keep the training going and keep up to date on all the newest technologies for hardware and things.
We started out as a locksmith company. That's what we were. We were locksmiths. That's what my father did. But at the same time, we've now become more integrators. Because we do the locking hardware, we do the closed-circuit television, we do the access control, we do, networking. So, I mean, some of the systems that we've been doing recently, we have had to build out everything from the network switching all the way through the wireless in the building to get the electronic locks to work on the doors, because we've done some fairly large apartment complexes and so forth where everything there is, they have a token or they use Bluetooth off their phone, which means that we have to connect to networks. So we have had to learn to build the networks and do all these other things.
Well, then let's talk about that. So one of the things that we struggle with in bidding processes or trying to perform what the customer wants is balancing the overall security of a building with life safety or technology, because we have certain things. It costs money to do X, Y, Z, or the customer doesn't feel safe unless something's happening. How do we do that?
If you hear all those booms, that is because Justin loves to talk with his hands, and so all I hear in my headphone is boom, boom.
Yes, I do talk with my hands. Thank you, Ryan. As I was saying, since you so rudely interrupted, what are you going to say?
I was just going to say, you boomed right then again.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting on my hands, and then you're just going to hear it squeak. Okay. We have to try to balance what we're doing at the customer's house with as secure as possible and as safe as possible, especially in the commercial atmosphere. I think that as we move forward, I think having the customer understand, especially in the commercial sphere, that when we're bidding something or when we're doing something, it's always in the back of our mind, not only security, but life safety.
Right. We spend a very large amount of time in our training keeping up on life safety, and all the life safety codes, because even though there's life safety codes presented every year, new ones, not every city follows the same rules or the same issuance of codes. So we have to keep track of that. So, if we go to Chicago's a lot stricter on a lot of different life safety codes than, say, Davenport or Moline, or even, say, some small little town like Loudon, Iowa. So we get asked sometimes to do things that we say, no, we can't do it. It doesn't follow regulations. It doesn't follow any of the life safety codes.
Well, just to go back to that boom in hands comment, yes, I am sitting over here with my hands folded together because I feel like Ricky Bobby, in his first interview ever, he just doesn't know what to do with his hands. So right now I have mine clasped tightly together.
Shake and bake, baby.
Hopefully next week we will hopefully have the booms taken out. But I appreciate everybody listening to us. It was our first go at this, so I hope it was somewhat entertaining, somewhat knowledgeable, and we will be back in 2 weeks to update you on what we've been doing and talk to you about some security and safety codes.
Thanks for listening to Access Granted, a podcast by J&J Access and Security in association with TAG. For more information about J&J Access and Security, visit jjlocks.com.